The Daimler Centenary year began with a special service held in the building behind me, which is Coventry's new cathedral.
I would say.
Now continue with our service. Your Royal Highness, my Lord Mayor, Lady Mayoress, I can safely say fellow drivers and passengers of motor vehicles, public and private. On behalf of Bishop Simon and the Cathedral community, may I, as promised, welcome you to this service of celebration marking the centenary of the motor industry in Great Britain. So let us express our trust in God in the words that Jesus taught us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, power, and glory, forever and ever. Amen.
At the heart of our great centenary, which we celebrate today, is a story which appears in this central act of worship as a tale of two cars. These cars are being brought into the presence of God. The first car can symbolize for us the thanksgiving which we want to express for all that we have received through the invention of the motor car. The second car can represent the penitence we must feel, and in every celebration there must be room for penitence over the ways in which we have all of us let this invention be misused. But before God, penitence always carries with it hope. And this car must also today be seen as the bearer of our hope for a different future. The first car, of course, is the Daimler carriage, the auto car. Its manufacturer, that ingenious and flamboyant entrepreneur, Harry Rawson, whose words we've heard, launched his new company, the first such in Britain, on the 17th of January 1896. But imagine his friend and partner, that remarkable young Coventry schoolmaster, Henry Sterling, setting off only 20 months later on a journey in an identical model to the one which we have here today, from John Groves to Land's End. This was Henry's finest hour, his greatest adventure. At this moment he was the pioneer, as he set off into the wild wind and rain over the bleak hills of Sutherland. May we truly together celebrate today the creative and redemptive power of God's wisdom at work among us, with a sense of deep thankfulness, a sense of forgiveness for all that is past, and a sense of confident hope for all that is to come. Thanks be to God.
now is an electric car built here in Coventry, blue, rolling past us now. The Bishop said that this sort of car will address the concerns of the people outside. He was stressing the need for a reduction in speed and fuel consumption. That will really contribute to greater safety and pollution.
Welcome to the city of Coventry. Behind me is the Museum of British Road Transport. This houses the largest collection of British vehicles anywhere in the world. On my left is this fine example of a very large car built by Daimler. It is actually one of the royal cars. This has survived from the mid-30s. It spent some of its life on the deck of the Queen Mary at Long Beach. The museum purchased it some years ago and it was shipped back. At that time the cost was £5,000. Since then, Jaguar Cars and many other local companies have been involved in the restoration of this vehicle. As you can see, the vehicle is immense. In height, it is nearly 6'6" high. It's done in a claret and black, which were the original royal colours. The riding light in the centre of the screen. This is to signify that royalty were on board. All this make this exceptional car, which is in wonderful order now, really worth saving. Yet another royal car. This is the original 1947 state car. It remained the #1 state car for many events through till 1949. It was retained by the royal family until 1958. Upon its departure from the royal household, it went to Mr. March Chaplin out in Leicestershire. For many years it was used as a wedding hire car. Again, this is DE36, straight 8 engine, Hooper coachwork, again in the royal colours. Upon Mr. Chaplin's untimely death in 1985, this car became museum property. This is Daimler at the very earliest period. This is 1898, a 2-cylinder car, originally fitted with tiller steering. It was modified by the company to wheel steering around 1900. It is only 6 horsepower. As you can see, it is on solid tyres, and it is a very rare item indeed. By 1911, the company had adopted Charles Knight's engine. This is a double sleeve engine. This car is quite unusual and one of the few survivors of the very early days of the sleeve valve engine. This is only a 4-cylinder, 12 horsepower engine. Again, a fine car. No front brakes, only braking on the rear. But nonetheless, a very, very pretty Edwardian vehicle. Acetylene lit. By this time, the company had been taken over by BSA. But Daimler never lost their individuality, and they never lost control. The amalgamation by BSA was a major success. It gave the company new funds and a new direction. If we move into the vintage years of the 20s, we find the company was building something like this. A wonderful piece of machinery. 25 horsepower, one of the finest vintage cars that was on the road at the period. Even today, this car, and quite a few others in the collection, are found out at various events doing promotional work, and the ride, I can assure you, is excellent. This car dates from 1931, 16 horsepower, sleeve valve. The company revamped the old Daimler 15, which had been introduced in 1937. It came back as this. This is 2.5 litre DB18. Later to be turned into the Consort. The Consort differs totally from this car, but under the skin they are basically very much the same. This was an all-new model. This model was based on the Lanchester model, which was known as the 14, or in export terms as a leader. But there we have the Conquest. Whereas the Lanchester had only a 4-cylinder 2-litre engine, the Conquest had a 2.4-litre petrol engine. Single carb. Later it came back in revamped form as Daimler Century. In Century form, they were raced successfully at Silverstone. This is main reception, Browns Lane, Jaguar assembly plant. Beside me is the X330, commonly known as the Daimler 6. This is the latest model. It's styled similarly to the old Series 3, but much revamped. It's the stretch version. This is the Jaguar version. Shorter wheelbase. It's the X300, very similar in styling, differently trimmed. Colour-coded wheel centres, alloy wheels. Exactly the same car, but there again, totally different. Because it's centenary year, we find the whole area is full with Daimler cars and not a mix of Jaguar and Daimler. 1939 saw that. That was production model. That's DB18 Sports Saloon. Immediately the side of it is one of the very early sleeve valve cars from around 1911. Then we see production from the 30s. On the end, the Vanden Plas Straight 8. That was Vanden Plas's own show car for 1937. A lovely car, much admired, restored some 20 years ago by its owner. Hiding up the corner, although one can't call it hiding, the immense length of the bonnet of the 66. This is Corsica body. It is a very, very big car indeed. Alongside the Corsica is the very last real independent Daimler. The body is by Car Bodies. That's the DR450. These are built on separate chassis. Production finished in 1967 when the DS420 limousine was introduced. It has V8 engine designed by Edward Turner, and they are a very, very fast car indeed. In fact, the performance is much better than the later limousine. Behind me is something rare and unusual. This is a Hooper-bodied Continental, built in the mid-50s. Some people love it, others hate it for style, but it is unique, and it is a very nice restored example owned by Duncan Saunders. Here we see something else from the mid-50s, Daimler Roadster. Basically the Daimler Conquest chassis under another body disguise. Next to it, the fiberglass kit car, as some people would have it called. That's the SP250. Originally it should have been the Daimler V8 SP250. Very fast sports car, fiberglass body, V8 2.5 litre Edward Turner designed engine, still capable of a good 120 miles an hour. Now we see how William Lyons made a profit from nothing. This is the V8 Saloon. Only the engine, which is designed by Edward Turner, the rest of it is basically Mark II Jaguar, trimmed slightly differently. Around 18,000 of them were produced. This is a one-off. This is unusual. Some Jaguar historians don't even know of its existence. This is the XJS in Daimler guise. Slightly modified front. The rear is also modified. Gone is the flat rear window, and it now has rear quarter windows, making it a 4-light saloon. Daimler Sportsman. This one was restored many years ago. The owner paid £80 for this. Mind you, he spent a lot more than that on it since. Known mileage is around 340,000. The very last of the Series 3 cars. These are based on the old XJ floor pan. The XJ was introduced in 1968 and has survived ever since. outside Browns Lane plant. The roof profile you can see is the giveaway to the old building. The old building is one of the shadow factories built for war production in 1938. Daimler intended this to go to Preston, but it never did. They were overruled by the Ministry of War Production, and the plant had to be built within 5 miles of Radford.
It's times like this when it's 4:30 in the morning and I've already been up for an hour, I have to say to myself, Paul, get yourself a different life, because this one is going to wear you out. Coming up to 10 to 5. Bit of a sea mist out there.
You could be on the way to John and Groats. There's the hotel, slightly
Just push the button. You have to hit the button once and it will record.
okay. Entrance to the hotel. Straight in front, and there's a crossing line just to the left of the building. So we arrived this far.
Right, John and Groats. Super ferry. Little harbour they have here. Just getting ready to set off again and head down south. Weather's looking a little overcast. Part of the fun and the experience. And here we are, the two of us, standing back here in Port Elgin, having completed the Land's End, John and Groats to Land's End.
Double entry.
Yeah. Over the line.
Oh, we nearly run out of road.
And out to sea. No more land. Good night, one and all.
We just needed a big dinky toy, really, didn't we, Jeff? Thank you. Oh yes, yeah. It's got about every bit of kit on it, it should.
Pull yourself out of situations.
So somebody else has.
When it was new, it would do about 58 miles an hour, but we tend not to take it over. It's getting a bit. No problem. Let's go on, wait. We don't normally have it in public. If it's at a rally like tomorrow.
Civic dignitaries, distinguished visitors and guests, welcome to Coventry Daimler procession, a cavalcade of 100 Daimlers plus other veteran cars. God save the Queen.
Here they come. photographs of us.
How you doing for photos?
There you go. Well done, Daimler. 1897, given by the complete 1896 Daimler. We'd love to hear from you. Serious Daimler in 1930.
Hi, Terry!
Like Rommel.
Rommel. Hi, David.
And we do some trying out more of this. But how about this when we're going to come through the tour? 1937 Daimler. Think back on that. If this is the time, I think it is. To the left-hand corner, there's a hole up an enormous stone. We wind up the roof. Typically again, part of Aston Martin, and they're still around. Now this one, if you watch on, we'll get very jealous of this. This was the motor shell car in 1938.
Excuse me.
This one has got a bar on the wheel, so and this bar was taken over by Daimler just before the war, and in fact in some cases again, it's a bad engineering exercise. 33, different car again. According to the notes here, the owner's father built this more than it was new. 35, was found in a special fixed-head coupe, a bit unusual.
They built a handful of these, one of them was the personal private car of King George VI. 42, last of the line, a small post-war 2.5 litre saloons. The consort, the one behind is the Barker Special, brought the dark green and cream. You can't see it, but there's in fact a removable third crosswise seat in the back, so you can either have a passenger or a low-borne luggage. In fact, just coming around the corner now, NTT, AIC, same model, and he's got somebody sitting in the crosswise seat in the back. Another console. These are mechanically similar, but as you can see, they're completely different body styles. Another Hooper.
Console, the one behind the Barker Special, brought the dark green and cream. You can't see it, but there's in fact a crosswise seat in the back, so you'll either have a passenger or a low-borne luggage. In fact, just coming around the corner now, NTT, AIC, same model, and he's got somebody sitting in the crosswise seat. Another console, these are mechanically similar, but as you see, completely different body style. Another Hooper. Another Barker. And the very expensive
We see the Tech Hospital in a very comfortable Daimler ambulance. 6-cylinder and Daimler semi-automatic transmission. I have been to avoid driving in London. What a way to go. Another ambulance, London wasn't the only people were using, although they will have the biggest fleet. Oh great, alright lads, the army's here. I hope they will turn up. 2.5 litre engine developed from the pre-war car. transport even by the army. More than a 2.5 litre 1950s Century and now we've crept up to the 3.5 litre. See, it's a bigger car. This, the pale green and beige. Cougar again. This was one of the last ones. Now it's only 3 litres this one. Yet another conquest roadster. Now this car is very unusual. My colleague who's driving it signed on Land's End. He's got as far as John Groats. He's now on his way back to Land's End. He must be one of the very few people who's done the double trip with an old car. Tony Bagley from our club has recently done it in a brand new Daimler, which Jaguar Cars very kindly dented. That's got automatic transmission, power steering, automatic gear in every room. It's much easier to do than with this. So they are double Land's End John Groats trip in a 40-year-old car. The two-tone brown car behind is a 104, so called because the top speed was 104 miles an hour. I mean, the speeds were quite popular in those days for car names. It wasn't frowned upon. I mean, Jaguar had a whole series of the 120, the 140, the 150. Nowadays, you can call your car the 150, you'll probably be arrested as a dangerous lunatic. Well, you're going to know Daimler, you're probably arrested as a dangerous lunatic anyway, so it doesn't make a lot of difference. There's another conquest saloon this time, driven by, this one's also been to Scotland. Right, and this was the final Daimler fleet before they got taken over by Jaguars. It's the only genuine sports car ever built by Daimler. The body is made of glass fiber, and it shouldn't make that much noise once the sun was talking. The body was built of glass fiber because the bus body section had the nailed out. The engine was developed from the Triumph motorcycles, which are also owned by PSA, and it was supposed to sell in the States, but didn't. This is the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. Instead of a 2.5 litre engine like the big sports car, it has a 4.5 litre, and they're much used by film directors, but not at 122 miles an hour maximum speed, and it's not going to get the film. This is the limousine version, highly popular for weddings, funerals, christenings, and all the rest of it. Yet another of the excellent cars has been tuned for racing. Now this is not what we've seen. It may have a This is the ultimate wolf in sheep's clothing. Instead of a 2.5 litre engine, it's not going to be the fuel. This is the limousine version. It's the last call of the genuine car. With the current Jag, it's over about 20,000 quid from the equivalent Mercedes. Of course, if you buy a BMW, these are wheels are registered.
Afternoon, Alex.
What the police used to use in the early 1960s, you've got the police power. People get a bit excited about all this, but if it wasn't for Jaguar cars, we wouldn't be here now. I mean, Manchester built beautiful cars, but they succumbed to the slump. Daimler sort of wandered in and out of ownership and profit and goodness knows what. But we're starting our second. People get a bit excited about all this, but if it wasn't for Jaguar cars, Jaguar Mechanicals, it was only offered we couldn't have a Jaguar one, we were based on the 4.5 litre Eastern engine. This is Sovereigns, which we're now onto the XJ type of Daimler. Basically Jaguar, but with all the Daimler extras included, which is what makes it such a amazing value for money. There's a very rare piece, the coupe. One of the problems with these was to get the doors to shut properly because of the side impact beam, and also to get the rear windows to wind up and down without scratching themselves. That's a bit unusual, that's the 12-cylinder version. They only built about 300. We're now creeping up to the modern ones. The limousine is the last one. It was built, everybody gathered around for a photograph, and it went straight into the Jaguar collection. almost the current models feeding round. You see these darting around the streets of Coventry anyway.
I saw your twin earlier.
Next is our Daimler Centenary hatchback UKV. Well, I'll just hang on a second. Here we are, Scottish tradition. This type of fireplace went out on favour in the 1930s because we were still in the power. It's still in the chance of hanging on a cross.
I was looking for you earlier.
Oh yeah, you know. Yes, that is absolutely wonderful. Corporation Street and took photographs as we came along.
It was an excellent crowd, wasn't it?
Oh yes.
Excellent crowd.
Yeah, there's another parade to go around.
Yeah.
All up around the sides.
That's right, yeah. This is cast iron sleeve, not steel.
Well, yeah, can do, yeah.
As the later one.
That's right, 22-ish before they changed to cast.
Because they didn't really build many fours, did they? not four cylinders. The bulk of them.
No, but the fours seem to survive, so that, I guess...
Yeah.
Yeah. It's in the foot brake, it's the transmission brake, okay.
Oh, right.
I've got to...
Yeah, it says something. A lot of the cars that have survived are four cylinders, so I guess they had a longer life than the six cylinders for some reason. Put it in, but it's in pretty good order.
There was a time at the Daimler factory, they had a SPD shop, spare parts, and they got all the old machines, all belt driven, and they, if somebody wanted a part for an old car, they used to get these machines out and connect them up to the belts, and get the cast in and produce it from there.
Yeah, well, there it is, yeah. Well, this one went to York, obviously to a person of some prominence, because it had a motif on the back door. And as I say, why it wasn't commandeered, I guess it got up so far away. That
somebody didn't know, they kept it perhaps.
Yeah, they kept it in private hands. Because it's a rear back gearbox one, you see, which is very rare. There's only one other we know existing, the Isle of Man, the TW20. Good stuff.
See a picture of one of them.
You can get one more if you wanted to.
You'd be hard on by that anyway.
Yes.
You know, because he fights without being hard on. It's just a very efficient brake. You don't need to be rammed on hard to stop.
You're the official photographer. Super.
Okay, right, okay, that's fine.
Over a bit, so you're getting a bit closer. the back of it, and bring it back now. You're right back there. Go on, go back a bit first.
Yeah. But it's a great interest, you know?
Yeah.
I've been collecting this for about 50 odd years now.
Brilliant, it's also a fair collection in that case.
More rarities now.
Yeah, for sure, that's right. You just can't get hold of,
cost
yeah.
many thousands.
Yeah, that's right.
Because early things are very expensive.
Yeah. You're writing a book, shall we, are you, and all this?
I have my name in 2 or 3 books on fakes and forgeries as well,
Oh, really?
Germany.
Yeah, yeah. The ones you've sold, you mean?
Yes, some of those. And some things are photographed which have come in from all over the world, you know?
Yeah, really.
And these are sort of negatives which have come in on, because people could see there's a way to make money on some things, you know?
Contracts, yeah.
One thing, absolutely. Oh, that's all right. And you come there.
You've got more than one.
That's right.
Madness only comes once, but insanity must, must be there must be 2 doses. Please tell us.
Yes, I've got a DB18 Mulliner 4-door saloon as well. I bought that one in 1980, and having a look around the DB18s, decided that I really fancy a drop head. This one came for sale in Scotland in 1984, and I bought it over the phone without actually seeing it. It was cheap, but it was all complete. But when I actually went to Scotland, to Edinburgh to see the car, I realised it wanted a hell of a lot of work on it. It actually took me 4 years to restore it.
You politely died at the first sight. You sank into the ground and the scales fell from your eyes. Barker Special Sport. There are a lot of these about. A lot survive. 2.5 litre DB18 chassis underneath. And here we found the owner. Could you tell us a bit about it?
There's not much to tell, it's just beautiful engineering. The car's well used. Came down from Newcastle this morning, just under 3 hours, 70 all the way, on the same tank of petrol.
Well, you can't complain at that.
No, I can't. But it's the lines of the body that attracted me, the Barker body, and obviously the hoopers as well are superb. But this is a car I've particularly always fancied. It took me a lot of years to find it.
Yes, there are very few available.
Exactly. Well, in the condition that you're looking for at the time and the price you're willing to pay. But I also have another car which I won't mention the make. But
I think we can see from...
No, not that.
Oh, not an MG.
No, I've got a vintage Alvis Speed 25.
Oh, very nice.
As well, so... But this is a car I've always waited for, and I should have sold the Alvis, but I couldn't bear to. So I've got 2 cars, and I only got one.
Yet another person with more than one car.
Some predicament.
How many owners has it now?
About 24. Yes. Some of them more than once. The same name and address appears in the logbooks.
Yes.
They sold it and then bought it back a couple of years later.
So you've dressed now in period?
Yes.
Well, it's
I suppose.
1949.
Yes. Shall I take that? I don't know if you want me to take the jacket off. It's just going to be a bit chilly.
This is a lovely new look, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
The shoes are lovely too. Are they genuine? No, they're not. It's just that I tried to get something that I already had that was as close as style.
We went to the library and
got some books out. Not such involved books as you've got there, but just something to give us a clue.
Get the idea.
They're very nice.
Yes, how did you get the dress? Well, actually, this is a Laura Ashley dress, believe it or not. But it's the right style, and I just walked in and saw it, and I thought, well, that just has to be the thing. Right, and we like to go around the other side. Right, can you step back a bit? Sorry. Thank you. Okay.
Video as well, my word.
You've actually driven him down here, so you want to go right down the front.
Yes.
How many miles
Any offers? Where are we going? I haven't a clue.
I got a 104 automatic.
Have you?
Black one.
Oh yes. Similar. Yeah.
No. I prepared myself about 2 years before. I worked in London.
I don't know, about 5 million, all to fetch.
It tells you how hot the engine is.
And it's 53. They go really nice
We put a call out a few moments ago. Could you please come to the marquee where somebody is wishing to speak to you? And the other person is Jeff Wohl. Jeff, we have a gentleman here who you thought might be coming, but he is actually here, and he would like to have a word with you. His name is Keith Goff, so...
But it depends what you're after, whether you're after.
Yeah.
Pinks and oranges and yellows.
Like the yellows are all 1 age group, and another one for another age group.
Pink is 55 to 65, I think, and 67 to 76.
Yeah. Just went for the year and then married on the
Yeah.
sort of size.
Yeah, quite encouraging. I don't think it's here.
And if they increase their turnover, they'll build them.
Fall over.
You may settle.
Yes, it says here.
A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for the longest distance travelled through this valley in the UK to Ivan Falls. Thank you very much indeed, Ivan. Those who have come from all over Europe. And this particular one is an SP250 that's come from Switzerland. Mr. R. Wexton. Well done. Thank you very much indeed. True continental charm, isn't it nice? 36 Manchester 14. And here he comes down. A lovely little motor car. And who says you can't travel mileages in these motor cars? This award is being presented by Mr. Nick Shaler, who's the Jaguar Chief Executive and a very, very great enthusiast of Daimlers. Very nice indeed. Thank you very much. Thank you, Colin. Conditions. This is the New Zealand shield, which was presented some years ago by the New Zealand branch of our club and has been won by Mr. Derek Allen from Brockenhurst down on the south coast. And very, very nice too. Mr. Shaler awarding him the prize. This is the Walton and Dixie Trophy. And it's not too difficult to see why it's won an award, is it? A beautiful motor car. Marshall, who comes from South Wales.
What figure?
Les Hancock, from down my part of the world, he lives at Selsey. Well done, Les. And if I know Les, as he goes up there, he'll give us a flip on the throttle so that we can hear the rather lovely note of that V8 engine. You will, won't you, Les?
Okay.
The next award is the best of the Conquest range. Actually, Mari is, I've got Diaz-Col, but it's Mari. Sorry, I'm in dead trouble here. Well done, Mari. any of you with very, very sharp eyes, and this has been won by the DB18 of Mr. Kitching. And this, of course, is a very classic style of motor car, and I don't think anybody's topped it for sheer elegance and grace as a motor car. Bearing in mind, of course, that we've got Mr. Nick Shaver here during the wars, I better say that I'm not including you, of course, if you're an ex-Holly, because it isn't of sale yet. The best of the large post-war cars. Now these were very, very big cars, beautiful styling, very gracious, and this particular one is owned by Mr. L. Thurston. It's a 1956 Empress 3. The Hooper Empress style has an elegance all of its own. And very well deserved prize. And it's owned by Mr. Carter. The car is a 1950. Must have one for the album. It's a 1936 straight 8. A truly sumptuous car. It's one of those big cars that managed to have the grace of a big car, but the lines of something just that little bit more sporty.
Hold on, let me take a picture of this one and I'll do that first.
Other than it itself, you know.
That one you got to push the switch there.
Where do you push it?
Away from Surrey. Now Mr. Garland here has just completed his restoration. At one stage he was a little concerned about whether to go this far on it so quickly, but I hope that he too is delighted that he did so, and we're delighted to see him. A lovely car. Now the next award is Lanchester, the best Lanchester, the Lanchester Memorial Trophy. It's a 1937 Lanchester 11, owned and driven here by Mr. Atkinson.
You're off.
So I wouldn't spoil the Lanchester.
Very nice. We've got, I'm sorry, yes, we've got the best veteran Edwardian or vintage car with the future cap, sorry, my fault. Ronald Harris, who's come up from Dorset with another car. And lovely to see you, Ronald. Thank you very much for coming up with such a lovely car. We do it, but it's this lovely EL20 Cabriolet. Rather unusual in that four-door open car. I must say that we've seen this car frequently over the past few years, because Garth is a very devout collector, a devout displayer of his cars here, and we're very grateful to him. Some towns, he even seems to make it seem better every year rather than worse. Don't know how you do it. Thank you very much indeed. The lady in the car is the John Poachin Trophy. This is always a very interesting award, because we do look for certain outlines and certain features, and we're delighted to say that Janet Spavold has won it this year in her 1963 SP250 and 1963 version of Fashion. I think you'll see in a few moments why she has won it. Well done, Janet. Thank you. Doing Manchester, and I'm delighted to say that she has won the best of the previous winners. Well done, Dewey. Zoom comes from down our part of the world too, quite near Chichester, the best car of the rally. The Ridley seeding pot. Mr. R. Harris again with the 1914 Daimler. And if you've had a chance of looking at this car in detail, particularly in the rear and the upholstery and so on and so forth, it is a remarkable restoration. It is absolutely beautiful. And I think he well deserves the award that he's having for this. Well done, Ronald Harris. Thank you very much indeed.
Sorry. Turn yourself. Well done. Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's the end of our prize giving awards. What I'd like to do now, ladies and gentlemen, we're just going to arrange the cars over there for you to take some really dynamic photographs of all the cars, the awards, and the owners of the cars, together with those who've been kind enough to present the awards. So there will be some very good photographic stuff over there. But before that, while we're doing that, I would like to ask our President just to... But firstly, may I thank the Lord and Lady Mayors for yet again gracing our meeting this afternoon. To Nick and Ross Shaler, who have been graciously presented the awards today. The next people we must not forget, of course, are the judges, ably led by Brian Mander. Brian has this task every year. Brian, where are you, please? Would you come forward? Thank you, Brian, for all your effort. This year we had 105 entries for the judging, 14 judges.
And now, any mistakes or errors, I am humbly apologising for at this moment.
Also, of course, today, with us on a unique occasion, we have Rosie Ramsey. Now, Rosie Ramsey has come to share the weekend with us. She is the daughter of Frederick Sims. You're probably all aware, with your knowledge of Daimler history, that Frederick Sims, of course, was the founder of the motor industry of this country. He was also the prime mover in forming the RAC and the SMMT. And Rosie, we extend an extremely warm welcome. Now then, the other people we must thank, of course, are all the marshals and wardens on the field, the caterers, and particularly I was pleased to see the input by the other car clubs. Thank you for coming. We've enjoyed your company, and please join us all again next year. Safe journey home. Thank you.
Not yet. Not yet. I'm working on it. You wait till I've had a few tonight.
President of the SMMT, I'm delighted to welcome you all here this morning to this rather undistinguished part of London to commemorate the true birthplace of the country's motor industry. No, it wasn't Coventry, I know you all think that, but that was where the first car was produced, the first officially registered car by the first officially registered car manufacturer, Daimler, 100 years ago. This site, Railway Arch number 71 at Putney Bridge Station on the District Railway line, lays claim to being the very first workshop of Frederick Sims. Frederick was founder of the SMMT, founder of the RAC, and of course eventually the Sims Motor and Electronics Company, which strangely enough became part of Lucas of all places in 1968. The workshop was originally used by Sims to fit imported Daimler engines into launches for use on the adjacent canals, and commercial operations began in May 1893. In November 1895, Sims sold the Daimler engine patents to financier Harry Wilson, who subsequently set up the Daimler car business in Coventry.
So he brought together a number of like-minded people, early automobilists, and they founded the Automobile Club of Great Britain and Ireland 1 year after 1896, at the inaugural meeting on the 8th of December 1897, so we in the RAC will look forward to our centenary next year in 1897. Sims was an immensely gifted engineer. He'd been raised in Hamburg, his grandfather had moved there. He knew Gottlieb Daimler. He spotted the enormous potential of the petrol-driven engine very early on, and his applications of it were not limited to the motor car. He was the first man to take a petrol-driven boat on the River Thames. And together with you, George, I have great pleasure in asking Mrs. Ramsey to join us in unveiling the plaque.
Yes,
this is my favourite.
Oh, I know. Yes, I know him well. This, of course, I've got the photograph at home, and this is when he was master. This is a kind of joke. It's a we call it a joke bicycle.
It's a real
I haven't got this. Oh, yes, I have. I haven't got a photograph of it. Only
Well, yes, not at all happens. No, David. Oh, right. We got away with it.
Troy, yes.
You may know that we started these centenary celebrations back in Coventry on the 17th of January, and obviously they culminate in the motor show in Birmingham in October. And now it is my very pleasant task to introduce the chairman of our centenary committee, Sir Geoffrey Webb.
We're here principally to unveil a painting which we hope will complement this very nice setting. We believed that what we ought to do with this painting was to ask the artist, Mr. Peter Gregory, who's with me here, to do something which was going to try to represent pictorially both the people and the products over the last 100 years. It's therefore now my very great pleasure to invite Mrs. Ramsey to unveil the painting. I'm going to give her a hand. I think then she's going to say a few words to us as well.
that arrangement there, it doesn't. And the engine ran at constant speed. These are actually not the engines, they're speed changes. You want to go fast, you use a higher clip, you want to go slow, you use a lot lower. So it's flat out 15 miles an hour anyway. And then if you want to go even faster, you press the pedal, that bypasses up and you stop the throttling and exhaust. And away you went. Running on one or two pedals. It's a hell of a lot easier.
We're in a gear now.
Gear cutting. Pistons are completely machined in 30 seconds. All parts are again tested before assembly. Crankshafts have to undergo accurate tests for balance. Engines of every type are assembled. The graceful double six grows up alongside the large double-deck bus unit and the small Lanchester 10. Gearboxes are built up part by part. And are assembled before test. And lowered into position onto the waiting chassis, ready to be built up stage by stage until ready for the road test.
That's a twin drive, chain drive, it's got a chain inside.
When that was running, it rattled like hell. Oh, no mechanic.
Yeah, that's right. That's where the motor industry grew up from.
Yeah. Yeah.
To go back into the events field. So if you want to see the cars coming in, you've actually got to go to the bottom of the drive.
Having a look, and if you look at the gentry register over there, those are not what I would describe as lookalikes, but they're actually very much not worthwhile. You like the photo?
Guide to the museum.
It's going to have a stroll out of some of these cars. Look at it back. Around there. Nice someone, of course, taking feet. When I was a younger man, I could probably approach it, grab the driver or his wife before he could pick up.
The link.
This is Prince Charles's new lady.
Oh, he should be that lucky.
Very strong, very good this guy. Very nice to see. I looks like much better. He looks like me when he's down there in years. Don't worry about bulldogs. It's outstation. Yeah, that's all a wide birthday. How do you want? Tell me next time.
This is Castle Bromwich body plant, main production for Jaguar cars and Daimler. The body shells are then shipped direct to Browns Lane for main assembly. Lord Nuffield built the whole facility in 1938 with never an intention of building cars. On this plant there is soon to be major capital investment to build the new Jaguar, the new small Jaguar and Daimler car. A new production line, this is where the future lies.